Hi guys, welcome to part 3. It's the last part of the Eeyore Loomigurumi tutorial. So in this part we'll be attaching everything and we'll be adding on the details such as his hair, at the end of his tail, his mane, and we're just going to add like certain details onto his muzzle. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take the body and I want to take the head and I want to attach it together. As you can see, the body is quite small in comparison to the head. I did that on purpose mainly because it took too many bands to make the size I did previously. Let me just show you as in comparison. This is the size I did previously. This is made out of rounds of starting with the magic ring with 8 stitches, but it takes up a lot of bands, so I decided to do the small one because you can't really tell the difference, even though the head is a bit longer than the one I did. So the first thing I want to do now, just so that I can figure out the placing a little bit better, is I want to attach the body to the head. So I'm just going to get my blue bands. Alright, so you see, as you can see, the body has an opening, the head doesn't, but you want to position it so that it's like this. So the top of the head, this is the one with where we ended, is just slightly on top of the body. So I'm just going to go through some of the bands in the body, going to go through some of the bands in the head. I'm just going to slip stitch all the way around. So I'm just taking my blue band, I'm going to do slip stitch. For the ones in the body, you're just going through the open stitches. For the head, it doesn't really matter where, but just make sure you're positioning it as you like it. You might need to readjust because it's not easy to stitch through closed stitches, so you can't really see what it looks like. So you're just, like I said, going to go all the way around until you've closed up those body stitches. Just continuously go through the stitches in the head, any one will do, as long as you're just joining the two together. And honestly speaking, the most painful part of each tutorial is the fact that you have to attach things. Go through a whole bunch of bands like that, doesn't really matter. Well, I'm not very particular, so if you're not either, then it should be fine. Okay, and the reason why I'm attaching the head first before I attach the details onto the face is that at times when you're attaching, the limbs or the parts tend to rotate. So I don't want it, so it's a little bit easier if you do the head first without having the details on it, so it's not as obvious if it rotates. Okay, I'm just kind of going to try and hide that clip. So I've gone all the way around, so this will probably be my last stitch. Okay, you have an option, you can either wrap this around his head, but I'm just going to clip the end because I have so many clips, and I'm just going to stuff it into the body. Okay, so that's his body, that's his head. What you're going to do now is you're going to attach the other details onto his face. So I'm just going to start off with the eyebrows. So for the eyebrows, I'm just going to get, okay, this is the eyebrow. I'm going to go through, this is the part with the loose end and your S-clip. I'm just going to go through the end stitch. It doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to take another black band and I'm just going to tie a slip stitch at the end. So this is just so that you can connect the eyebrows on. So I'm just going to take out this S-clip for now. I'm going to get my Eeyore. I'm just going to put the eyebrows wherever I want. I'm just going to position it like so for now. I'm just going to put my hook through one side of the black bands. I'm going to go into the head. I'm going to come out the other side and pull the other side of the black band. I'm going to pull that side of the black band through to the other side. I'm doing this, as you can see. So it's kind of like a slip stitch, but what you're going to do, you're going to take your S-clip, clip this end. You're going to use the other end of your S-clip and you're going to clip the other side, as in close to the eyebrow itself, and then you're just going to rotate it so that the S-clip is stuck inside the head. If you're able to, yes. Okay, another option is you can actually stitch the eyebrow on, but I didn't want to do that, so this is also another way. If you want to stitch the eyebrow on, you just need to slip stitch all the way around. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other side of the eyebrow. Okay, I'm taking my black band, putting my hook through, I'm tying my slip stitch. Okay, then I'm just going to remove this clip for now. I'm going to position the eyebrow on the other side. I'm putting my hook through the headbands, coming out the other side to grab the other side of the black band, or the other black band. I'm pulling this through, one through the other. The stuffing will all come out, it's fine. I'm taking my S-clip, so I'm just putting one S-clip on that band I just pulled through, using the other side to clip close to the eyebrow, and I'm just going to rotate the whole thing so the clip is hidden inside the head. And like I said, your other option is to just slip stitch the eyebrow on, but it makes it a little bit too thick, and I don't really like thick eyebrows. So that's his eyebrows. Then you're just going to grab his eyes. So this is one eye. You're going to position it like this. This is basically the eyelid, so yes, one eye will be like that, the other eye will be the other way around, like this. So taking this one eye, I want to hide these two parts underneath the eye, so for now I'm just going to keep it there. I'm going to start off with stitching the white parts, so I'm just going to grab some white bands now. Okay, this part's a little bit tricky, but let's just try and get it done. So I'm just going to go through the headbands. I'm going to go through the white bands in the eye. Okay, I'm just going to slip stitch the white parts all the way around. Just move up. You can actually move the eyebrows and the eye a little bit closer to the top of the head. I should have done that, but I think this one is fine. So just slip stitch the white parts. Okay, now I'm coming to the blue parts. I'm not going to stitch the top opening part of the eyelid. Let me just show you what I mean. So I'm not going to stitch the top part of this. I'm going to try and go behind. So let me rotate this for you to see. I'm going to try and go behind. So I'm going to go through the headbands. I'm going to go through the bands, probably the white band here, behind the eyelid. I'm using the body color bands, and I shall slip stitch from here. Okay, so I'm just going to do that again. This one is a little bit harder because you can't really see the placement flat. I can go through some of the eyelid bands there, just behind it, not on top. slip stitch. Okay, so I'm just gonna do one more. Alright, now I'm coming back to the white bands. I'm just gonna not go through this one, I'm just gonna go through this one at the bottom. Sorry, his body is in the way, so that kind of blocked it. And then for the black part, I'm actually just going to leave it. You can stitch it, but I'm just going to leave it for now. So I'm going to clip this end. I'm going to stuff it into the body. Sorry, it's not the body, it's the head. So that's one eye attached. We're going to do the same thing with the other side, but since this is a repetition, I'm going to do this off camera because it might take a while. So just attach your other eye and then just come back and we'll resume the attachment. Okay, so I've attached both of his eyes. So now we want to do the details on his muzzle, and this is actually the most difficult part because you actually need to stitch it on. So first of all, let me just show you this one. We're going to start with the nostrils. So we're going to just roughly have a guess of where you want to have it. I'm just going to just randomly go through two bands like this diagonally. I'm going to grab a black band. I'm just going to slip stitch like so, and what I'm going to do is with this end, yes, I'm doing this a lot, put in a clip, and you're just going to stretch it, overstretch it, and just put it into the muzzle like that. So that's one nostril done. So we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Oops, I think I went through too many, just hang on. Okay, so I'm just going to clip the end. I'm going to stretch it up and put it into his muzzle. Let me just adjust it. So if you have done my Yoshi tutorial, this is how I did Yoshi's nostrils as well. So it's just the same thing. So that's done. Next we have to do his smile. This one's going to take a while as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do the smile itself, and the two corners of the mouth we're just going to do later. So this one is slightly difficult. You have a lot of estimation. So just start off, just put your hook through two bands. You're just going to slip stitch the whole way, so just do slip stitches. This is basically just stitching. I'm just going to hold it, and then I'm just going to go through the next two bands. I'm going to put this back on my hook like that. I'm going to slip stitch. Oops, body's in the way. Alright, and I'm just going to do that all the way until it's shaped like a smile. Unless, of course, you want a grumpy Eeyore. I kind of want a smiley one. Don't worry about all these clips coming out, you just need to push them in, they will stay. Okay, my smile is a little bit crooked, but I'm alright with that. Speaking of which, this Eeyore looks a little bit like Slowbro, which I might do in future tutorials if you'd like me to. Let's see. Okay, his smile is not supposed to be so sharp, but at least it looks kind of even. And then I just want to do... Okay, that's it. So it's the same thing. I'm just going to clip the end. I'm going to secure this into the muzzle, like so. Okay, so this part, the corner of the mouth, it's just the same thing. We're going to stitch it on. So I'm just turning it to its side. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through like this. I'm doing my slip stitch. No, hold on, sorry. Take that out. You don't want to do that. You want to start from one side. So more to this side. You want to do your slip stitch. Okay, then you want to go through that center stitch again, and you just want to go through the 2 stitches next to that, and then you just want to slip stitch. So that makes the corner of the mouth. Mine is not really touching. You might want to make it closer. Hold on, I think I shall do that. Sorry about this. It's a little bit difficult to estimate since the stitches are not always the same. Or the positioning of it. Okay, there we are. Same thing, grabbing a clip. I'm gonna stuff this into his muzzle. You can adjust all the clips later on once you're done with that, and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Okay, stuff this into his muzzle. This clip has come out because I squeezed it, but like I said, you can just fix everything later on. So that's his face done. So now the next thing I want to do now is I want to attach his ears. So I'm just going to put my black bands away for now. I'm going to grab my blue bands and I'm going to grab his ears. Okay, so his ears are really heavy and they're really big. So if you actually have a better way of doing it, please let me know. So if you take one ear, you can see one side is a little bit rounder than the other side is a little bit sharper. What I want to do is I want to make the sharper side at the bottom. It doesn't really matter, because it's roughly the same. So you're just going to position the ear close to the top of the head like so. Alright, it's close to the top of the head. What I want to do now, I only want to slip stitch the top half of the ear, so just round here. I'm just going to go through the head bands, I'm going to go through the blue bands in the ear, and I'm just going to slip stitch just halfway, just at the top. Okay, so this will be the last stitch that I do for this ear. Same thing, I just want to clip and stuff into the head. Okay, so that's one ear. You're going to attach the other ear, the same thing, just make sure you have a similar side at the top or the bottom. I think this one looks roughly the same. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. And you're just going to do the same thing on this side. So just attach it halfway. This, I'm going to do it from here this time, because I'm right-handed. Okay, same thing, I'm just going to clip the end and stuff into his head. Okay, so that's his ears attached. I think they look alright. So now I'm just going to move on to attaching his hair on his head and also his mane. So once we've done that, we can just move on to the body as well. Okay, so his mane. So this part's a little bit tedious. What you're going to do is you're going to get black bands. So Eeyore has a little bit of a widow's peak. So it's that triangular shape on top of his head. So I'm just going to put my hook through the bands right in the middle of this head. I'm going to chain 6 with black bands. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I'm just going to put my hook through the second chain from my hook. I'm just going to single crochet all the way down. So just to let you know, most of the hairs on his head, I will be making it 6 chains long. The ones at the end of his tail will be 6 chains long as well. Once it gets to his mane, you can make it a little bit longer, like 7, 8, or 9, maybe even 10 chains. It's really up to you, but I will only decide when I do it. So just to let you know, the main ones that I'm doing are all 6 chains. If your bands curl up like this, you can make it a bit longer. Alright, so now I've come to the last chain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate Eeyore a little bit. I'm going to, keeping that band on my hook, I'm going to go through 2 bands on his body in this way. I'm going to do the same thing. Oops. So I want to go diagonally back. Maybe I'll go through this one. So I'm just going to chain 6. Alright, and then I'm just going to do single crochets in each chain all the way down. Alright, so once I'm done with that, I'm just going to rotate Eeyore again, and I want one hair in the middle So I'm just going to, through keeping that band on my hook, I'm going to go through some middle bands. I'm just going to chain 6, and I'm just going to repeat that process until I'm happy with the hairs on his head. So I'm just going to keep recording for now, but feel free to fill his head however you want. I might make this middle one a bit longer. So it's just that every time you do a chain, go through the second chain from your hook and just single crochet all the way down to make it thicker. The other option is actually to double loop the chains, but that one is a little bit more tedious. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate Eeyore. I want it one here, so just going through these bands, keeping that on my hook. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing. Now I might want to rotate it, so I'm doing some at the back. The ones at the back I might make a little bit longer. Okay, now I'm just going to start trying to make my way to do his manes. So as you know, for horses or donkeys, the manes are kind of like in one straight line at the nape of the neck. To make it look a little bit thicker, you just want to do it in a little bit of a zigzag pattern. So I'll just show you from here. So I have one hair here, so what I want to do, I want to go diagonally down like this for the next one. So I'm just trying to start off his mane. Okay, so once I've gone diagonally like this, I just want to go diagonally this way, so you're just doing a kind of a zigzag pattern. This one I will make about 8 chains long, I feel. Okay, so I'm just going to go diagonally again. Okay, this will be the last one I show you. I will then do the rest off camera, otherwise I'll just be making this video way too long for something that's really repetitive. You just want to keep doing a zigzag pattern all the way down to just like the base of his neck. I know he doesn't really have a neck, but just so that it's slightly on the body. Okay, so I finished this one. Let me just show you what I mean on my other one. So as you can see for this one, my mane extended to part of his body, which is what you should do. So just continue doing it until you're happy with his hair, and then I'll just continue with the rest of it once I'm done. So I'm just going to finish this off camera, otherwise it's just going to take up a lot of video time. Okay, once I'm happy with the mane, I'm just going to clip. Actually, no, you don't need to do this, sorry. You can just wrap this around one of his hairs. Just tie it a few times so it doesn't come out, so there you go. Alright, so that's his head. Let's move on to the rest of his body. So I just want to attach his legs. Let's do that now. So you want to grab his body color bands, you want to grab his legs. Alright, let's start with one first. So the legs are pretty simple, you just want to attach them onto the body like so. I know the body is a bit tiny, so it's just slip stitching it closed. So just go through the body bands, go through the open leg bands. All the legs are the same, since you made 4 of the same ones. And honestly, attaching the legs is pretty difficult to get right, but I'm alright with it not being very perfect. You might want to take more time. It's just a little bit more tricky because the head is in the way, so you just have to try your best. And I know it's going a little bit out of focus because I keep having to turn it, but just please bear with me. All you need to know is you're just slip stitching the opening of the leg to the body. The first one's the easiest, and after that you just need to make sure it's a similar placing or even placing throughout the body. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm just going to wrap this band around his leg. You can just put a C-clip or an S-clip on it and stuff it into the body. It's fine. I'm just going to wrap this on. So that's one leg. Then I just want to attach the other side. So I'm taking another leg. I want to try and position it roughly the same side. Okay, my ear clips are coming out. That's fine. You can adjust everything later. So let's say I want to position it here. I've actually positioned this too close to the middle of the body, but I think it's okay. It's still bearable. So I'm just going to stick with that. And okay, you know what? I am actually going to do the leg attachment off camera. So just do the same thing. Slip stitch all the way around the opening onto the body, and you're just going to do that on this side, and then I'll just stop and I'll do one on the back, and then I'll stop and you can do the other one as well. So yeah, I'm just going to do one on each side, or one in front, one in the back, because it's a lot easier to actually just attach it on my lap. Alright, thanks. So just pause the video here and attach your other leg, and then I'll see you for the back legs. Okay guys, so I attached this other front leg. As you can see, it's really a lot easier to attach it if it's on your lap. So I'm going to attach the back leg now. So I'm taking a back leg. It's the same thing, you just want to attach it like so. The back leg, it might be a little bit more difficult, but you're just doing the same thing. Try and keep it the same place. You want to go through the opening of the legs and then the body bands, and you just want to slip stitch. So just go through every one of the open stitches and just close it. I will do one on camera and one off camera just because it's easier to do this on my lap. Okay, so I'm done with one back leg. Okay, I'm just going to do the other one off camera. Like I said, it's a bit easier to attach when it's not on the table. So just pause the video, attach your other leg, and then just resume the video once you've attached his last leg. Okay, so I've attached all his legs. Let's do his tail. So I'm just turning him around. Alright, and then we're grabbing his tail. So this is his tail. What you're going to do is this this S-clip, you can just take it out. I'm going to put my hook back through. I'm just going to flatten the end like this, and I'm just going to slip stitch the tail like this. So I'm just going to go through some of the body bands. I'm just going to go through some of the random tail bands. I'm going to just slip stitch like so. Okay, so that's your tail attached. So this end, I'm just going to wrap around its tail like this, and I'm just going to take the button now. So the button of the tail, as you can see, is actually quite big, but I don't really mind. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this one tight. I'm taking this off. I'm going through the other end. I'm going to attach another slip stitch to this end. Just tie a slip stitch so at opposite ends, so it's like this. I'm just going to attach it so that it covers the top of the tail and some of the body as well. I'm just going to put my hook through. I'm going to go through the body. I'm going to grab the other side of that, the other band. I'm going to pull it through. Okay, for this one it's actually very difficult to slip stitch. It's going to curl up like this. So you just might have to readjust that button. Once again, as we did with the eyebrow, I'm just going to clip this end that I pulled through. I'm going to use the other end of the clip to attach this band, and I'm just going to rotate it so that clip is hidden. And I think it's a little bit too tight, but I think that's just good enough for me. So this is the button that goes at the end of its tail. And now we're just going to do his tail hairs. So just get your black bands again. We're going to do the same thing as we did for the hairs on his head. So at the bottom of, I'm just going to do 3. At the bottom of his tail, I'm just going to go through the middle of the magic circle. I'm going to come out the other side, and I'm going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, oops, sorry. Why does that keep happening? Alright, so then I'm just going to go through each sorry, excuse me, each one of the chains. I'm just going to do a single crochet. Including the bottom chain. Alright, so after that I'm going to go through, okay, you need to watch this, both sides of that magic ring like this. I'm going to do the same thing, so chain 6. Alright, and then I'm just going to do single crochets all the way down that chain. So it's the same thing we did to make the hair on his head and his mane. Once you reach the bottom, I'm just going to go through one side and into the middle. I'm just going to do another 6 chains. This will be the last one that I do. And then once again, I'm just going to go down all the way with single crochets. Okay, so this is the last one. I'm going to go back through some random bands in the tail. I'm going to tie a slip stitch. And then I'm just going to wrap this end around one of the black hairs. Okay, so that's his tail hair done. It looks like this. I only did 3, you can do more. Now I'm taking his bow, his ribbon, so I'm just going to take some of the pink bands as well. Let's say I take 2. So what I'm going to do is, this is the front of the bow that I want. At the back, I'm just going to put my hook through that center part like so. I'm going to pull like these 2 bands on like this. I'm going to tie a slip stitch like that. And this part I'm just going to tie onto the end of his tail. Like that. Okay, so there we go, we're done with Eeyore. So let me just show you what he looks like. So that's his tail. That's his face, so he's quite cute looking. I'm not too sure whether he can fit on the screen properly. So he has shorter legs, so he's just a bit cuter looking than the one I did previously. So that's his bow. It's still a little bit big, but I think it's a bit of a better size. So okay, here's this one, the one that you're making in this tutorial. This was my older one. I did not like the eyes, and the muzzle was a bit too short, but in a way it's still quite cute. So anyway, if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. I will be making more Loomigurumi in the future. So I will try and come up with one every 1 or 2 weeks, but it takes some time to come up with the design and to film it. But if you have any requests, please let me know. I'll try my best to fulfill them, but I'll tend to favor the requests that I have color bands for. Just to let you know, I have a lot of black and I have a lot of pink and a lot of red, so I will tend to do those that I have. Alright, okay, thank you guys. I really do hope you like this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy making him because he's really cute. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye!